It's and Jay. If you've never seen the show before, welcome to Issuenight. We talk about important, serious issues of the day. That's why we all dress up here, because it's important. We just need to address it with the seriousness that we intend to. What I want to say, we're on YouTube and we have a live stream, so please don't hesitate to participate with that. We want to hear your thoughts and your questions, and that's it. Okay.
Good.
Thoughts and questions.
What do they got to do, Mike, on YouTube again?
You call somebody and they tell you, I don't know, Jay. What do you do? How do you do?
There's a button you're supposed to press on.
It's like
on
a
YouTube.
thumb.
Okay, so the thumbs up on YouTube, press that. If you could, we're really not asking you if you like it or not. We're just asking you to press the button.
Yeah.
Okay.
Press the button.
Why don't we get on our first set of issues? And these are issues that are dear to us that we like to call Bionic issues. Okay, so I don't know if we have a picture. If we can bring up the picture, there used to be a television documentary on a man. Here, do I need to click it?
Just do it.
There we go. There used to be a television documentary back in the 70s, and it was called The $6 Million Man. Tony, what did this guy do? He crashed in an airplane.
It was like a spaceship thing.
That was Buck Rogers, Tony.
Oh, well, it was like a test craft of some sort.
That was Airwolf.
Yeah, might have been a UFO, but then they made it into
that was Lost in Space, Tony.
Okay, and then he crashed, and then he needed extra body parts, so they rebuilt him. They made him better.
He's right.
Okay, so if you show the image, there you can see the arm. It looks like it's part skin and part.
That's gross, too.
Maybe that blue stuff you find in those freezy packs that you put in the cooler. So it looks like they have that, and then the rest of them is just mesh. And there's really nothing else.
That's a soccer net, Jay. Actually, back there, I believe it's a soccer net
behind him. Yeah,
behind him.
So is that what kind of mesh is that? Is that the fiberglass kind, or is it more of a interactive metallic?
Pretty cheap.
Yeah,
plastic.
Well, if $6 million.
It's $6 million. It's the best soccer net you can get back in those days. I mean, it probably was nylon, probably triple threaded.
He would practice shots on it, and it would go through.
Okay.
All
right.
Bionic.
I think he had other capabilities too. But the problem is they only had $6 million back then. Even back then, that wasn't a lot of money. And he is now asking for an upgrade. He's what is he built? I mean, what programming is he built with?
Well, I'm wondering if Nick, has got familiarity with this guy, or.
I have to say, his service was beyond my generation.
Okay. Any questions though so far, or did we explain?
No, you guys are.
He lost some limbs, I believe, a leg and arm, and they replaced it with a bionic leg and arm.
Oh wow!
And I believe his eye.
I think an ear. Wasn't there an ear, or was that the girl?
Bionic hearing. No, I think he had the hearing too.
And that had to be pretty revolutionary for the time, right?
It was.
Yeah.
It's bionic.
He didn't really have hearing. All it would do, if he wanted to listen, he just heard the sound. And
he heard a little barking in the background. Pretty much. It didn't work great.
Yeah, it was a little distracting, but it came with the technology back then. If he wanted to run fast, the noise would. I mean, I don't know how the bad guys didn't know he was coming.
Rick.
You go by Nick.
Okay, just go like this, go like that, and
like this.
Okay, not too fast though.
Slower.
So
he's always in slow mo, even though he's super fast.
Mm-hmm. So when he wanted to go fast, he actually slowed down. But the sound behind it, what made it?
Hey, Buck.
You just saw and you figured he was going fast, but in a way you knew that he actually was going slower than even I would run. But somehow,
I think that sound slowed everybody else down. It's like no,
right?
And then he got to move at normal speed, and so in comparison, he was going fast.
Okay, so. Back then, they gave him, I think he had a little bit of strength. However, the soccer net, they're kind of found out maybe this was a bad idea. He also fought their enemies, and he had $6 million. You can fight this thing. It's a probe. It's called a probe, and I don't know if it's really just kind of a.
Maybe we'll link to some Bionic Man episodes in our. Later I'll put it in the links.
Okay.
So you can
Okay.
watch. But yeah, I remember this episode. This guy fought this bionic tank.
It was a probe, and actually the probe can only move like two ways, but somehow he struggled against this. But it had an arm. The arm didn't do much. It just was an arm there, but he knew like somehow possibly that could be a threat. But again, the probe only moved two ways, so and it moved very slow. So
He could really just step on top of it and nothing could.
He never did. He never did. I don't know. He just, the probe got in his head and just,
in the heat of battle, like you make mistakes, and that's probably the technology of the time as well.
Well, yeah, good point. Good point is that, and let's talk about the technology. What are we talking about? Was the Bionic Man, was he programmed with BASIC or what do we?
I think it would have been DOS, right?
DOS.
The disk operating system, because in the old documentary they show the tapes, and then they went to the disks. I think so. And DOS
They didn't even have floppies, and I think it was punch cards.
Okay.
So, you know what that is, Jay?
Those are the cards that
Hanging
that
chads
you
from
can get
election.
library books out of.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. So here he is with the punch cards. In him, I think you had it. What he had to insert one. Tone is in his back and his front.
I keep seeing this tank. Do you need to change it?
Oh, okay. Well, we do have a comment on the probe. Why don't we get to that? They're saying maybe it's a repurposed Buffalo Lifesavers, a repurposed R2 unit.
You're good. I'm getting a little.
Okay.
I'm being a little. Jay, I'm being a little of that. Okay. So stop it. I don't like went Tony there. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so repurposed maybe R2 unit, so maybe they got it, kind of cheap. They're like, hey, we have this extra mini crane, right, Tony? Is that like kind of a mini crane? Like maybe that might go on a small Bobcat or something
look
like that.
a crane so much as just the top of R2 on wheels.
Okay, so maybe they had some
With
extra
a nose.
parts.
Like he's got a nose or something there.
Okay. And I guess that's all he can fight for having punch cards.
Oh, that's
as
that
in-
little
right.
thing that he zaps people with.
Well, Jay, I just
The
want to go back to the
line
punch
thing,
cards. So, Jay, during a battle, you actually have to insert them to, you have the punch cards, and if you want to like shoot
something
it,
different.
Yeah,
you've got to actually put the punch cards in for that
different programming. For
different programming.
Yeah.
The
So
actual-
move left, get the move left punch cards.
And that's
Yeah,
why you can
okay.
only fight such small,
Exactly. That's why I like to go two directions.
non-threatening.
Okay.
And you feed him in, and the guy, the Russian guy's like, "What are you doing? What's going on? Get him all over the place."
So you always had to have a Russian guy with him to punch it, to feed in the punch cards, or could he do that himself? That's what I'm wondering.
Who's he?
The
Jay.
Bionic Man.
I mean,
Well,
he's
the Bionic Man didn't
yeah.
use this tank.
Oh, you're saying the tank ran up
How about
punch
the
cards
tank?
too?
The tank. Well,
Okay.
I don't know if the Bionic Man did.
All right. So both.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, it's probably the same technology.
Well, yeah. I mean, 6 million.
All right. So both of them are running on punch cards. They both.
It's true, Jay. I mean,
They both need upgrades, and here's the thing, folks. 6 million in Buffalo Lifesavers points this out. We have just had massive inflation going on. They're trying to fundraise for him. They're trying to get. What's the next program? What programming does he need at this point?
Upgrade from
IIe.
DOS.
Apple
AI,
Basic, Fortran,
They can't
COBOL,
get AI. We're talking
Oh, I
Windows.
thought you
We
meant
could
Ada.
do maybe Windows 2000.
Lisp.
Don't know that one.
You don't know Lisp. I said COBOL, C++, C Sharp, D minus. No, I don't think that's the grade I got in computers. But
Okay, so
So any one of those would be an upgrade.
how much is
true.
it going to cost to upgrade the Bionic Man and this R2 repurposed R2?
well, how much money do you got, Jay? I mean, how much money do you have? I mean, that's what. How much does it cost? I mean, 6 million.
The government
5
paid for the first one, right?
I
So-
don't know.
So they should pay for the next one. I
Well,
would
they
think.
crashed him. They sent him up in the plane. They
was
knew
Buck
they
Rogers.
knew it was a
He froze.
bad idea. It was an experimental plane. The Molly bolts weren't going to hold, and
bolts.
the plane goes down. It crashes. Now we got to give him parts, and they only had 6 million.
Well,
so,
what was the warranty? I mean, we got to read the fine print, right?
um,
Was he guaranteed, lifetime upgrades, or should he be paying for this himself?
No, Tony, the warranty's like a car, so it's like 20 years or 20,000
And they wouldn't give
hours.
They wouldn't give him a lifetime warranty, especially with the bionic parts, because they don't want to get into how much that extends the life.
Yeah,
You
well,
know,
I
'cause
mean,
that-
they should.
yeah.
They're bionic after all. I mean, they're supposed to be better than.
What was the battery technology then, though? I mean, is it run on battery? Is there a battery in him, like to run the bionic part, or is it uses energy?
Well, back then the C batteries were really popular, so that's
Yeah,
that's
I
my
think the
guess.
battery technology is the easy part.
Oh,
The hard part, because you could get the lithium stuff, you can't go on airplanes anymore. But
right.
that's the easy part. The hard part is how do you integrate so that you can run, Fortran instead of DOS.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they did it with the Voyager, or did they?
Oh,
I don't know if that's true,
they,
but
think so.
they send new programs up
Did they?
there.
Yeah, they coded it while I was up there.
All right, so I want to comment on what Buffalo Lifesaver is saying. If he had trouble with the original R2 probe, maybe they could save some money by not upgrading the R2 to make it a more even fight. So, yeah, so maybe keeping punch cards for the R2 unit
Right.
and then upgrading this guy. And speaking of upgrade, here's the thing: is I think the probe out of the picture because he's this $6 million man, this Bionic Man is saying, hey, when I upgrade, I want to fight real villains. I want to fight climate change. I want to fight injustice. I want equity. That's what he wants to fight.
he doesn't.
So,
He wants a fighter. He wants that. He wants to fight for it. He wants it.
I think he's not quite sure, but
think
he
he just
just
wants to
doesn't
fight.
want to fight the probe anymore.
He just wants to
so-
fight.
Some people just have that in them. They just want to fight,
Keep up the
And
fight.
I think he has that.
Okay. I mean,
Well, that's going to take a lot of money then, from what I hear.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
the problem is the action figure is a problem. When I had the action figure back in the days, you put the stupid punch cards in, and then he can move right, or the punch cards, and he can do the bionic eyes,
Yeah.
and that. But now he's like, I want to fight climate change. So now kids have an action figure, and I don't know what they're fighting. What are they doing? They're not really moving them anymore.
No.
Now they're bringing them up to podiums, and he's giving speeches and lectures, and there's interviews.
Who is giving interviews?
The Bionic Man action figure.
What's the figure or the man is?
The man wants to, but he needs the upgrade. But now the action figure's out.
I mean, the
and-
kids will emulate using the
I see.
figure that
Sure.
you're buying.
Right.
Yeah.
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 So
Help
then they have them coming in the
fundraise.
classrooms, and hey kids, we need to recycle and things like that. So
I mean, if we just invested, the $6 million, like what was this, 1970? This show came out. Just invested that, like in a mutual fund or something. I mean, we'd have a lot more money.
they didn't
When
think
we-
of that, Mike. They had they're like, hey, let's buy some
An
blue
arm and a
ice
leg. I mean,
and,
the arm costs what, $1 million?
well,
The leg costs $1 million.
the soccer
ear
net
costs
was a lot.
half. The soccer net costs a lot.
And you needed those upgrades right then. They didn't have
That's
time
true.
to
They didn't have time
invest,
To, that's
you know?
right. They had no time to invest.
All right, maybe last comment here, Buffalo Lifesavers, good point. Says like maybe kids are going to take the action figure and fight like he could fight goons in bubble hockey. And the Buffalo Lifesavers, it actually they did that. Kids like took their because they didn't they're sick of bringing them up to podiums and classrooms and things like that. So they brought the action figure, put it into the bubble hockey arena, and he got crushed there, Tone. He just like
handle
these
it.
guys just whacked him good.
Pressure.
So kids don't put your bionic bubble hockey guy. Don't bring him into the bubble or the bionic guy. Don't bring him into the bubble hockey arena. He doesn't belong there. He wasn't meant for that. Those guys are vicious. He's just going to get torn apart. If you just joined us, you're watching Issuenight. We're talking about important and serious issues of the day. Sorry, I got to switch the issue, Mike. And speaking of bubble hockey, we're going to get to our bubble hockey update.
Where? Okay.
Yeah. So Nick joins us, and Nick works in marketing, and so Nick is going to give us let us know what the update is with bubble hockey.
That's right. I work in marketing, so I have a ear to the ground, or the ice, so to speak here. And I've been informed by some of my colleagues that actually Hubba Bubba Bubblegum is looking to become I believe it's a major sponsor of bubble hockey. Now, they're not just looking to, get a name up alongside of the glass. They want they want the whole thing. So they're looking for name changes. Like, it's no longer be called bubble hockey. It's gonna be called Bubba hockey. You know, they're trying to change.
So it'd be a Hubba Bubble hockey.
Hubba Bubba hockey. Yes.
Hubba Bubble hockay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a pretty penny they're offering to do that. That's a big change.
Yeah, I'm thinking you'd have to offer a lot of money, maybe even become part owner for that kind of. I mean, it's one thing to do a little product placement.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I assume they would do that too, right?
Well, they're gonna have the hockey players chew gum, the gum during it.
They're gum.
Mm-hmm.
They're
They
gum.
can't really.
The problem is they really can't chew, so they got to drill new holes, and then they got to put a little air pipe, so they can shove the gum in, and they're hoping they'll blow a bubble. Sorry.
Well, they're putting little kids with pumps behind it. Look, thing it goes up. You
That's a
pump
good
it and
idea.
it comes out.
They're charging for that too, probably.
Wait a minute. This is the problem. If I'm playing the game, I'm paying attention to scoring the goal and getting a quick goal before the dumb ice flashes on me so I can get more time, by the way. Now I got to worry about, like, pumping air into their... I mean...
Well, their backs, and there's a tube that goes up and comes out their mouth.
Can the little kids who bang on the sticks there, can they do this? I mean, isn't this a good job for them? Can't the little 5-year-olds who just never put in the money and just bang them around?
And that's part of the reason why we're having this, because, you know, the bubble hockey's been a little tight on money over the past couple of years. So, you know, nothing's done easy anymore. I mean, not only are they have I mentioned the previous things, they're also thinking about changing colors, you know, because they want to match that Hubba Bubba pink. So, and the players, they're not happy about it. They're gonna feel emasculated. They don't, you know, like, I know there's Cancer Awareness Month, which they participate in, but they don't want to do that year round. They want to go back to their home colors.
Yeah. So to Jay's point too, they're trying to raise more money, so they're actually going to charge the little kid to pump up the bubble.
Well, what
So
are they going to
instead-
charge? Those kids never put money in the first place. Like,
Right,
what
but
are
they're not going to be allowed to do the bubble unless they get their own quarter. So now you got 3 people playing per side. So you have to bring a kid with a quarter, and they'll pump up the bubble, and you'll still do your thing. But to your point, it might be distracting. In fact, I could envision, you know, a kid being overexertive and then the bubble getting so big that it slows you down. I mean, try running around with a bubble hanging off your, you know what I mean? It'd like probably pull you back.
Well,
like
and they
while
get
you're trying
stuck
to
on the
run or-
domes.
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff.
and testing has led to injury. I've heard, you know,
Okay.
the sticky stuff all over. Yeah.
Well, I notice when I'm bringing the guy forward, he's got the puck. The bubble gum is stuck to his face because the bubble popped, and he doesn't know. He can't see. His shots are always wide.
Yeah.
You know, and this is what's annoying. Is like I should have scored. I didn't. Now the stupid ice is blinking, so I'm done. I'm not going to get another puck coming out of there. And the puck thing's stuck anyways because what they tried to do was blow a bubble out of the thing, and then the puck shoots out of the bubble, and like, hey, yeah, I love it, but it jammed it up, and my pucks aren't coming out. And what did I pay? 50 cents for this?
At least.
I don't need this. I don't need this.
Jay, what is the problem here besides? I mean, why? I don't understand.
I mean, we just been talking about for 15 minutes. Like,
I don't get it. I don't understand. I mean, what is the problem? I mean, so they got a sponsor. It's messy. Is that the problem really?
There's
Yeah, I mean, it's messy. You've got player injuries because of the bubble, the neck, you know, getting snapped. You've got unsatisfied customers. You got little kids who are supposed to be pumping up the bubble and paying a quarter, and they're not because they don't have a quarter. So you got to pay their quarter just to interfere with the game.
Yeah.
But it sounds like a great marketing ploy. So you know,
Nick,
I'm all for it.
how is the bubble blimp working out? Because I know it's like made out of a Hubba Bubba bubble, and it's supposed to you're supposed to remote control it, right? And
Yeah.
how's that working out?
So, in theory, it was supposed to do very well. You know, I'm glad you caught wind of that. I was it sounded exciting in theory, but you know, whenever you blow a bubble, it kind of deflates over time. So the one that got put in there originally, you know, it's not holding up anymore. You know, it's a little deflated and it doesn't fly quite right. You know, I heard one even landed on the ice during a game, and completely interfered. I think that the players were looking for a refund on that game, so.
Were they using the original hydrogen? I mean, was it flammable, or did they use the helium?
No, they used pure air, just from the lungs.
Oh,
that's what
well,
they
then
used.
it
And that's probably part of the problem. They
pure,
can't. You're right.
Air's not pure.
Yeah, but they can't even afford, they like
The clean air?
Yeah, they can't afford hydrogen,
The filters.
helium. They can't afford any of that,
Okay, so last time I played, that blimp.
When's the
got
last
caught.
time you played?
Okay, I don't. I mean,
When's the last time, Jay? Come on.
I mean.
Let's be honest, okay? When's the last time?
All right,
played
it was
Bubba?
5 years ago, but still, I couldn't see the scoreboard. Because the bubble popped on the scoreboard, so I didn't know if I was winning or losing. I couldn't
losing.
tell if the dumb ice is blinking. Am I going to get another puck or what's going on?
Well, you don't really need another puck because you can't score. So.
Yeah, admittedly, some of the branding has been a little clunky in practice.
Clunky.
Great in theory, like you're sitting in a boardroom.
Is that
It's
a
great
technical
idea.
term, a technical marketing term? Clunky.
Yeah.
Kludgy. Ever used that
Oh,
word? Kludgy?
No, I usually use...
Look that up.
Okay.
Kludgy.
Yeah. But and they're great ideas on the paper, but then when you try to implement them, they just go very poorly. And I think they really got attached to the name. You're like, oh, what Bubba, Hubba Bubba, hockey, and they just really tried to shoehorn in some things that really don't work as well.
No, it's not.
When's the last time you used a shoehorn, Jay?
I used one just yesterday.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, if you just joined us, you're watching Issuenight. We talk about important and serious issues of the day. Why don't we get on to our next set of issues, which we like to call automotive solutions. Tony, what's going on with this?
So apparently there's this Truth in Dashboard Lighting Act that passed the legislature and is going into effect where, you're driving along and you've got, all the idiot lights, as they call them, that light up. And, the engine, the tire pressure, and so on. But everybody knows them as idiot lights. And just to be more accurate, more truthful, we now have to they actually have to correspond to something that might be considered idiotic.
Okay. So these pictures are not going to work anymore?
Well, yeah, I mean, because like the top left one, that's like if you get a bad battery, and there's nothing idiotic about that unless you disconnected it.
Huh?
Yeah, I hear they're expanding, right?
Oh.
Expanding.
Sorry.
Good one, yeah.
I hear they're expanding the dashboard actually to include more of these because you can't cover all the issues. There's 12 indicator lights, and that's part of the act that they're doing, right?
Yeah, well, like some of the new ones, like if I like that second one there might still apply. It's swerving. Like if I'm driving along and I swerve, the guy next to me is probably gonna be like, "Yeah, you idiot," and he'd be right. And so in order to let me know that I'm doing something that's not very good, the light goes on, and it's like, stop doing that. It's kind of I think a reminder.
Okay, but what happens if you're the guy? I wish my cursor
I do want to
worked
see
on this.
this.
The guy with the ball on his
No,
lap.
that's actually Jay. It's a lollipop, a giant lollipop. And I don't know.
I thought it was a guy. It was like a hostage strapped down, and they put some large, maybe leaded ball.
No,
on
it's
him,
basically
and he's-
saying don't eat lollipops while you're driving. It's a giant lollipop.
Oh, I thought that was a Hubba Bubba.
Oh, maybe.
So we're not talking about a hostage situation. When this light comes on, I'm not like I did something dumb and now I'm a hostage. Is that
not
right?
what it is, Jay. It's
Don't
not.
know.
Sorry.
I don't.
I also heard. I did a little research as well into this. I heard that they're looking to add a tier system at the dealership for this. Because not everyone has the same amount of intelligence. One thing might be an idiot to one person versus just the norm for the other person. So I hear they're actually making you take IQ tests at the dealership. So that
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that you can be sure that your level of idiocy is
appropriate amount of lights for. So if I'm more likely to pull in front of somebody or to cut somebody off, I'd have a bigger dash and more lights.
Yeah,
because I need a light for each one of those transgressions.
And you can take classes, work your way up, to eventually it comes down to one light.
Or work my way down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, if we go,
Jay, I just a question about the one with the shoe.
Yeah,
So the
that's what I know.
circle,
Yeah.
and there's a shoe there. What is that for? What's the shoe?
That's he got a shoe.
It's the
So,
green next one to the. you
there's
got
a
the engine.
shoe
Yeah.
in a circle, and the circle
Like a-
appears to be moving.
Oh,
And I don't know if that's, hey, you left your
Can't go
shoe
anymore.
in the radiator again,
I think it's a dryer.
or
A
you.
shoe in the dryer.
Yeah. shoe
Don't.
in the dryer.
Okay, so
Like
you
when you
look-
leave and you've left a shoe in the dryer. Maybe
How would the
it's,
car
it's
know
idiotic.
that? How
No,
would the car know that?
Well, it's based again. It's customized, Jay. So if you're the type of person who leave a shoe in a dryer, the car company would say, "What kind of stupid things do you do? Well, if I were going to call you an idiot, what's something you do?
All right.
I always leave my shoe in the
In the
dryer.
dryer, yeah.
And so they're going to put an idiot light on there
to
just
remind
for
you.
you. Just
That's
to remind
you know, that's a great idea.
That's on the
custom-
expanded package.
custom idiot
actually.
lights.
Yeah, the
Okay.
expanded package.
Yeah.
yeah, if I
expanded
leave my
package.
keys, somewhere. Oh, well, I guess the car wouldn't start. But if I left my wallet somewhere,
Exactly.
the light would go on and tell me, "Hey, dummy."
Right.
Not to call names or anything,
know.
but
I know, Tony.
I
okay.
guess it's accurate. So, go back in and get your wallet.
Yeah. Same thing
Okay.
with the abs. Like you need to work out your abs. Right? See the bottom one,
Yeah.
ABS.
Yeah.
Same thing. Work out your abs. Same thing, Jake.
That
Like,
one's pretty
so there-
self-explanatory, Yeah.
a guy who gets in there and this guy knows, like, hey, I'm a little tubby, that light's going to come on.
yeah.
I mean, probably the seat, right, Tony? The seat's gonna weigh you when you get in, and it knows, like, hey, you're a
Right.
little tub.
Yeah, it's kind of the new technology and the smart Internet of Everything car.
All right.
It actually, I've heard of some of the more of the higher end luxury models actually auto subscribe you to your closest gym membership via GPS. So I heard that's an interesting upgrade coming in the future. I don't know if I want that personally, spending money that I didn't choose to, but maybe it's for my best.
Well, if you get the light, you have to go there.
Yeah.
So
I think it
that's
actually
not-
takes you there.
He brought up
Yeah.
GPS. I don't want to get into it unless we're still working on this. I don't want to segue.
Well,
Yeah.
I had one more on the
Go ahead,
light
Jay,
if
do
I
it.
could. So I don't know why we have a temperature gauge in the ocean, in water, and it needs to be perpendicular, or is the problem you try to?
it's got to have that little ladder too to climb on.
Yeah,
little
I
ladder.
thought-
it's important to know the ocean temperature
Okay.
for global
I thought
warming.
I was
If it's,
looking at that
if
wrong.
it's an idiot light, is that saying, hey, you have not taken ocean temperature in a while? Is that what it's saying?
If
Tony?
you've driven more than you should, you're contributing to global warming, and the ocean temperature is a major gauge for that.
So the ocean temperature is going up. Okay.
And I thought that was I might be an idiot myself. I thought that was a sea level indicator. Like you're getting close to where, there's a tsunami or it's rained a lot. You got to watch out. Some roads that were there might not be there anymore.
You actually may drive your car into the ocean. Because
Exactly.
you're at sea
Right.
level. Okay.
Mhm.
That would,
Right.
yeah, okay.
But I could be wrong. That's why they're expanding them.
Okay. Fair enough. The last thing I want to say, though, is about that engine light, that check engine light. The problem is with that, and this is a problem with a lot of these lights, is like, if I want to know what my check engine light is, like, what is the problem with my engine, you got to file a Freedom of Information Act in order to get that information. So, mine's been 3 months already, and my engine might melt down. I don't know what's going to happen because that light's on there. So I'm still waiting for that to come in. And Tony, is there anything with the legislation, like they got to speed that up or give me something?
I won't know until probably next show, but California's looking to kind of respond to this current legislation with updated legislation, because you're right, just having all that information out there, susceptible to the public, you can't get to it, but the Russian hacks are hacking into your engine and getting the information and trying to sell it to you. It's a problem.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Mike, you wanted to comment on the...
Well, I just want to segue. I just took a bite, so sorry about that. But GPS. Okay, so you know what it is? It's global
Position.
Dobo,
System.
Systems.
status, something like that. Yeah, you can basically find out where you're going based on things. They started out by saying, you know what, GPS is boring. Isn't it boring?
Yeah.
Go, turn left. I got a British one, which I actually like the British. Hello, turn left, turn right, paired. Things like that.
Bit of culture right there, right?
A bit of culture, yeah. But they want to make it more fun more interesting. But they kind of went outboard with the AI. They incorporated AI into this, Jay. So now you got like the guys like got an attitude, going down. Why are you turning there, idiot? What are you doing? Like, how could you possibly turn left there? I mean, you're going the wrong way. You're going to start getting voices like that.
So they're taking the idiot lights and making it auditory as well.
Right.
And it sounds like they're taking it too far.
They are taking it too far. And I think, AI, the whole AI craze, the GPT, cruiser, bot, people, what I'm talking about?
I think that's the official name, yes.
Yeah. All that stuff, they're going crazy. Like, I'm writing tests now. Like, the AI is doing tests for me and all that things. You know about that, Jay.
I didn't.
Actually, I think you work in a prison.
No, I had
Prison
idea.
Okay, I guess okay. So anyways, they've stepped back on that. Now they're going to alternate forms of GPS. So, for example,
like maps.
a map would be an alternate form. Exactly, Jay.
Okay.
Right. Ding, 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 ding. A map would be an alternate form of GPS. Exactly.
Yeah.
Or like a dog.
Okay. Well, how would that help?
I don't know. You could put a dog. People, they're putting dogs in cars and barking to go.
Well,
straight.
dogs would bark, and then I would
Go left or go right.
Oh, no, to turn left or right. So one bark versus two
Well,
barks.
the dog's going to be
Right.
50% right, and that's probably better than your own guess tone.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, my wife signed up recently so that you could actually call her for directions.
Oh,
Unfortunately, and obviously, if she's not available on the phone, you're just gonna have to wait and hold.
so it's
Well,
like
I-
GPS phone a friend.
phone a friend.
There's a
exactly.
slew of other moms out there too doing it. I hear
That's
it's-
true.
They're trying to employ more mothers,
Right.
trying to get them in the workforce again, and I think that's actually a development that they've been working on.
More
So
interactive.
don't they? But when you call them, aren't they just going to Google it on their computer and then tell you, right?
They'll consult a map or a dog. So I mean, I'm not saying this is the right thing to do. It's just we're trying to pull back, Jay, from technology. We're trying to pull back from
Sometimes
technology.
You don't have service, and what good is Google Maps going to do for you? What good?
But
is
even
GPS going to
technology,
do?
isn't it destroying your brain? Isn't it like messing you up? I mean, look at you.
Yeah, Nick. There's too much screen time going on. I mean, that's why people are wearing glasses. That's why I'm wearing glasses, whatever. And they're saying,
Where are my glasses?
Hey, as part of America,
Lost them.
shut out screen time. What is that?
Well,
A Scott. As part of A Scott, you need to get off of screen time. That includes GPS. That includes at
phones.
work. Like stop
type of
using
phone.
your computer at work. That includes if you go up to a kiosk and it's asking you questions, don't answer the questions. Turn your head or try to answer and guess as you
Right.
guess.
Make things harder. Make things hard. That's the theme now. Put the phone away. Count on your fingers rather than using a calculator. I don't know.
It's about creating problem solvers
Or creating
innovators.
problems. Creating problems and solving them in a really weird way.
Create innovators, yeah. And I have heard wind of this, like there's kind of a movement in my generation of trying to be less dependent on technology. We're a little too far one way, we're trying to go the other. So, I heard that. What, sorry.
Using more of the creative part of your
Exactly.
mind instead of the logical.
So I've heard,
sensible part.
Read
you
a
have-
book. Read a book.
Yeah, exactly.
Write a book.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But you can't use technology. I mean, you can read your book, but you can't turn the light on.
It's
So
eat 'em.
don't.
Eat a book.
Yeah. Get the knowledge right there. But anyways, for GPSs, I've heard some of these great ideas. When you're golfing or baseball, you throw a couple blades of grass in the air,
Yeah, I've
try
done
to
that.
get the wind.
Huh?
People are relying on that now for a little bit of direction.
Not supposed to pick the grass. That's not supposed to pick the.
Well,
the
and
grass,
sometimes in times of trouble, that's more of an extreme option. I apologize, but looking up at clouds, if you see a bunny, there's a whole book of classifications of what the cloud means. So, like if it's a bunny, you're supposed to turn right. If it's
So if it's okay. So different animals, like a squirrel might be go to Boston versus
Oops.
different animal. You said a bunny. A zebra might be take the road to Washington D.C.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're working on that, and then I believe you, Mike, you mentioned to me that I've seen this as well. Magic 8-Ball making a comeback with my
Yes.
generation drivers.
The GPS 8-ball just telling you which way to go. And then when it says like you will fail. I mean, I don't know. I mean, some of the 8-ball responses just don't work with GPS.
Yeah.
Try,
part of
try
the
again
problem
would work.
solving,
Right?
Try again. Like you turn right, try again.
We forgot our 8-ball, so we used the thing where you're like
Can you make- yeah.
you pull the corner, you pull the corner out, and then
Yeah, can you make those, Jay? They're really hard to make.
I girls make them. I don't.
They
I
just
don't
they
know.
know how. They're
They
born
know.
with that
Yeah, all of
knowledge.
them know how to make that. So
You know what we're talking about, right? You have no idea.
Yeah, no, of course I do.
I don't know, dude.
I was on the playground.
I mean,
know.
you just have phones. Don't you just walk around with phones all the time?
I mean, we do, but also.
Do you know how to do like tactile things, Jay? Does he know how?
Yeah.
I don't tack.
Tactile. It's like
And
tackiness.
touch
Tacky.
the-
A little sticky,
touch
you
the
know?
sticky
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
Stickiness.
Yeah, no, I mean, on the playground, second grade, we were innovators, pioneers on this. Actually, we were.
What?
We didn't have cars, of course. We had our, Playmobil cars or Fisher Price cars.
What's a Playmobil?
Like the little ones that you drive around, and we were practicing. Really being problem solvers, and we do that. We'd be
Weren't they electronic? Didn't they have batteries and they move? Those
sometimes, me and my friends, we problem solvers took them out. We wanted to
You took who out?
the batteries.
You took the batteries out
Yeah.
on a date or what? Oh, you mean the bat took the batteries out? I sometimes get confused. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we had to pull them out, really to accentuate our problem solving, with our
You got a
generation.
good vocabulary.
Yeah.
I like your vocabulary.
Thank you.
Did you do English in school?
I don't remember.
Okay, that about wraps up our show. So we just want to thank you, everyone, for joining us for another edition of Issue
All right. That's the first show. This is in between.
Yeah.
In between.
Filler.
So we're not on the air right now. We're
Yeah.
in between shows.
Indeed.
Mike, what's interesting, I don't even think anyone's watching because Buffalo Lifesavers, I'm pretty sure, is putting the kids to bed right now.
nobody's watching us.
So probably no one's watching.
I'm cool with that.
As
That's
we're,
fine.
We can talk.
I have to apologize. Last week I did not play another episode on the Sunday. You know how you're supposed to have a show.
Oh,
YouTube
yeah.
wants you to have something every week, and I didn't.
You're
It's just-
busy, Mike. That's hard.
I just
I'm not
literally
doing
forgot.
anything,
I don't know
so.
what I was doing. I'm surprised. My dad got married this week.
I think I found.
Surprised that what? Thank you.
For you.
Yeah, thank you.
So you can use them.
Oh, ready for takeoff.
This is not working. Anyways, so where are we going
show
next? What are we doing? What's
two.
show 2 about?
First, show 2's book review, Goodnight Moon.
Good night, Moon.
So we're going to
That's a good
review
one.
that and would love to have input from people. So if you're kind of silent out there, like
how many people
please
are watching?
type something in.
Okay.
Including
Like
me.
really type anything. I think I said in the beginning, like type questions or comments, but honestly anything.
Nick,
We'll take anything.
can you let your friends know that we're doing this right now?
I am currently
Yeah.
doing that right
Do you
now.
have
Do you know the whatchamacallit, the team camp theme?
No first names, please.
That's the last name.
So,
Yep.
book review, legislative update. We're going to revisit the automotive issue, and then we're going to talk a little bit about trees and bringing up trees, and possibly, lastly, a bubble hockey, another bubble hockey issue. So,
All right. I miss Jerry. I wish Jerry were here.
yeah, Jerry.
Yeah.
And maybe Easy Pass if there's time, right?
Wait, what is the bubble hockey issue? Do we even
No.
do we have one?
did
Do
we
we have a
list it?
second one? Maybe we didn't. Okay, so that's just on there for no reason. Okay, all right, just want to be clear. So,
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. I don't
Are
know.
you ready to go?
Are we ready to go?
Okay,
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
here we go.
Okay.
It's issue Thank you for joining us for another edition of Issue Night. We talk about important and serious issues of the day, the newsworthy issues. In fact, some issues you don't even see in the news. You might not even heard of before. So, Mary D'Alessandro, thank you for joining in. So, why don't we get on to
No
our
first names.
No middle names, Jay. No middle
actually,
names.
sorry. Why don't we get on to before we get on to the issues? We want you to click. I think
Like
it's a thumbs up issue.
Mary, if you do it, we'll have one 100% like rate.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you do it, too.
Uncontroversial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like us.
So
like
click the
Oh.
the thumb.
Never done that before.
Thumbs
Yeah,
up.
you should like our own show.
All right.
I've never hit that button before.
Yeah,
That was
do it.
fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it again.
Tony's never smiled on
Tony
the
can
show,
vouch.
so that's
First time we seen
yeah.
it
So
now.
you can click thumbs up for that. Okay, why don't we get on our first set of issues? And these are issues. Occasionally we do a. Is it coming up?
Do it. Do it, Jay.
I did it.
Do it.
Not
You didn't do
coming
it. What happened?
Oh, here we go. Sorry.
Oh,
It is a.
book.
Look at that. It's not coming up.
What are you doing? Break it?
Book
I don't know.
review.
I didn't break it.
I see it. It says book
I
review.
don't think you're on transparent. No, you can't bring it up that way. You gotta.
What?
Maybe.
All right. Mike's going to try. The first issue, if it
Just
comes
say
up, is going to say
crashed.
book review. Occasionally we do book reviews on the show, so we are, I don't know what we're going to do.
Messed up.
We'll,
Let's just do the issue. Book review.
okay.
We're just gonna do it. I think you got crashed. I think it crashed, but don't
Okay.
reboot.
Sorry.
All right, we're back. Go on.
Mike, when we get on, if we can, our book review today is going to be Goodnight
Wrong.
Moon.
I'll do it.
So
Got
if we
it.
can, got it?
Oh,
There we go.
there it is.
So, some of you have heard this about this book. Normally, it comes in a cardboard form. It's a what they may call a board book, and I think it deals with a rabbit. So, so why don't we
60
why don't we
years
get
of
on
Goodnight
to
Moon.
let's get on this. So,
Go to the first one.
sorry, Goodnight
my bad.
Moon, and here's the first part of it. It's by some woman. Okay, and here we go. In the great green room, there was a telephone and a red balloon and a picture.
What is the
of-
picture of? What is the picture of?
It's not telling you.
No.
So that's a problem right there. I don't. A picture of what?
That's a very.
And Jay, what
clean
makes
room.
this-
Wow.
What
Right.
makes this room so great? Why is it called the Great Green Room?
Nick, it's got two grades there,
Very
right?
green.
Oh no, it doesn't. Sorry, I can't.
Mhm.
It's
okay,
very
so
green. So it's great.
Is it because it's so green?
Yeah.
It's not specified.
Now, what happened with that balloon? Did someone blow it up and it landed on the ceiling? You know, and can he reach it? That bunny cannot reach it. So is he sad?
Probably.
That bunny looks clueless. I think the bunny was given the balloon, didn't know what to do with it, let it go. And I would just like to say this bunny is lucky that he was not outside, because that balloon gets in power lines. What's going to happen, Tony, if that balloon starts getting in power lines?
I don't. Well, according to Arms of the Father, this is a cliffhanger, and you're right. We just don't know what this balloon's going to do.
Come on, Jay.
Okay,
That's part of the suspense, I think.
kids at home, when you're given a balloon, especially a helium balloon, right, Nick? That's a helium balloon.
I believe so.
Okay,
That's
when-
why it's on ceiling.
All right, when you get those balloons, hang on to them for crying out loud, because if you don't, you know, I mean, who knows? I mean, lucky there's a ceiling there, but what if there's a skylight and this thing goes out? There's satellites, there's aircraft that fly low, there's windmills. I mean, just please
Arms
pay attention.
Yeah.
I'm right. Heimlich. You know Heimlich?
Uh,
These things
And
are
lastly-
dangerous. I can sue.
Lastly, don't give helium balloons to bunnies. They don't know what they're doing with them. They Tony, is there training they need with this, or you know, what can go wrong if a bunny gets?
Yeah,
a
I think
balloon?
it's a 2-hour balloon awareness training course that bunnies have to go through. If they're helium filled, if they're not helium filled, it's a different training course.
Do they need a license to work with that helium?
the state doesn't currently require a license,
But to drive, you do.
but there is a training requirement under the federal statute.
All right. So someone at a good point. Arms of the Father. Is that your name? Anyways, why is there a live fire in a child's room? So
Great point.
this bunny is tucked in, given a helium balloon, did not go through the training. That thing pops. That bunny will never go near a balloon again. And now we have, Tony, we have helium and a heat source together, right?
Yeah.
Why does he? Why? Okay, this bunny has a. First off, that's dangerous, and I think it's a bad idea. But that phone, should he have a phone in his room? I mean, did he have a digital phone, and then his parents said you can have a dumb phone? I don't know. Just to me, it says
He's got a phone, a radio. Boy, this bunny's got it made.
yeah, he's got
And
a
a picture of
porridge.
something.
Didn't eat his cereal. Clearly, didn't eat his dinner.
Hmm.
Wow,
Calm.
he's going to have the attention span of a goldfish once he hits
Yeah.
teenage years, you know.
And and did he kill the bear for that rug or whatever it is?
That's not a bear. He killed a tiger. So I doubt the bunny did, but these bunnies can kill. Like that's I've never heard of a bunny taking out a tiger, but obviously they did.
Right.
So,
Thanks, Tony. Got me a...
all right, should we get on to what it says?
Yeah, do it.
In a picture
There's
of
more. This is
The
great.
cow jumping over the moon.
jump. Sorry, Mike. Dude, I don't.
No, that's it. The cow jumping over the moon. And there were
Okay.
little bears sitting on chairs.
Okay, so these are the pictures that hang in the room. I don't know if I have much to say about it. You know, I'm not one to judge about three bears on chairs. What are they doing? Why are they folding their arms? They seem to be covering something up.
Well, let's be
Yeah.
clear. Jay, let's be clear what happened here. Jay, that cow is not jumping over the moon.
No.
No, he's not.
I think
They airdropped the thing.
Oh.
He's falling, okay? For this picture, Jay.
He's falling over the moon.
He's just falling. No, he's falling to the ground, and it happened to catch him in midair.
I don't think you nowadays. I don't think you can drop cows anymore. You used to be able to, but I don't think you can.
Well, it's a stunt cow. I mean, there's a big airbag. You see it underneath.
That's what they want you to think.
And as long as he lands right, he should be fine.
it's like a cat.
Okay. So Arms of the Father is a little critical on these things. He's calling it modern art trash. He could be right. I mean, the bears again are concealing something. Their eyes are
Jay, it's concealed
very
carry. We have guns.
well, and maybe this might be why. Look at the eyes on the bear. The eyes are these are cocaine eyes. These bears
Ooh.
have been shooting up, or they're dealing. They're dealing bears. Kids, we always say stay away from the bears with really wide eyes. They're dealing bears. They have cocaine. You stay away from them.
Emily Joy says, why are the pictures in black and white? And that's because it's to show somberness.
Yeah, if it's going to be modern art dribble, I mean, you have to have black and white. You're not going to have color. I mean, why you ask that?
That's a rule, yeah.
Yeah. Why don't we get on
Good
to
question.
the next picture?
And two little kittens and a pair of mittens and a little toy house and a young mouse.
So,
It's a lot of animals, Jay.
Is this a run-on sentence?
wait a minute. So, they're just letting kittens play by a fire. Then the fire's supposed to be drying the mittens. And what if they jump into the mittens and they put those too close to the fire? You know, can the cats get out of that?
Well, I think the mittens are for handling the fire, right? Don't you usually put on gloves before you poke the fire and that kind of thing? So probably personal protective equipment. That's probably what they're considered.
Okay.
I think that's the Encyclopedia Britannica that my dad used to sell, like 36 episodes, 36 comes on the wall.
Those had the black,
Oh, the
brown,
black.
brown
Okay, no,
blind.
that's not right
These
brown
are the
binder.
knockoffs, Mike. They're blue.
Yeah,
And we had the
I
knockoffs
see.
growing up. Like, we couldn't afford the real good ones, so they're like, we have these blue ones. Like, every other page is missing.
He doesn't even know what we're
everything's
talking about.
photocopied.
Before computers, we had books.
Mm.
And then you read these books.
I've
You
heard
open these
stories.
books up, but there was a book for each letter. A, B. When you got to Z, like it combined Y and Z. You know, but then you talk about like, hey, Z would be like you start an animal with ZJ.
Shoot.
Zambia.
Okay,
Shit, that's a-
Zamboni.
That's a
Zamboni.
country, actually. No.
No.
Z animal. Come on.
Zorro.
There were definitely Z animals. I would go to the Z book and like start looking like, hey, I want to find an animal Z. Tony,
I mean-
help me here.
I mean, I could ask Siri. She
I
would-
don't know.
So
See?
you read the Z column of
The book, the
the encyclopedia book
yeah,
until you got to an animal.
right. Right.
Uh,
Anyways, my point was that those are books.
Okay. They're books, and Emily Joy brings a good point. Like, no one's mentioning the mouse. I don't even think.
I was thinking.
Oh, they
about
did say a young mouse. Oh, she says old mice matter too. This is not very inclusive.
Oh, 'cause
and this is the and
it's
that's
only
the old
young
mice
mice.
movement,
All mice
right?
matter.
You know, I mean, old mice matter, and you know, and there's no old mice. They're not going to put them in here. They haven't been casted. You know, what do they got to do? They get a mouse. They have to sit it. They have to like kind of glue it
They glue it.
in there, and then they draw it. They have to draw this picture.
Draw the picture.
You know, and they couldn't get the old mouse because
Is that those blue traps that they use on mice now?
Kind of.
Okay.
Well, that's why it's a young mouse, Tony, because the old ones, you know, you're going to put them in a glue trap.
They
then
know better.
it ain't going to make it. you
And
know.
clearly those cats are declawed because they'd be going after that mouse.
Well, maybe they made peace. You know, maybe there's an agreement in the house.
I mean,
know.
we're-
Truce,
Yeah, true.
kind of a Well, I like that.
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever an agreement, but I think for this book purposes, there probably had to be a contract so that
Yeah. You sign a contract and you agree to the terms. What else are you going to do?
I'm just confused. Like when they're telling the story here, and two Lincolns and a pair of men's and a little toy house and a big. How are they selecting what they're looking at? They're focusing on different things. I wouldn't focus on the house. Why do they bring up the house, the mouse, the toy house, the mittens, why?
I think they're just creating a setting. I think that's
Okay.
part of like standard protocol.
Okay.
You list the setting before you get to the story, maybe.
Right. But who's knitting? I mean, there's knitting there. That seems very important. Someone was sitting there. They're gone. What happened to them? They go to the bathroom.
Well, they left everything. No, Mike, there's something going on. Serious. I mean, they left everything. They left the lights on in the dollhouse. They got animals running all over. They left the fire. Something serious is going down, and they got out of there. So I'm not too sure what's going to happen, but I don't know if we should get to the next couple pages. So
black and white.
Here we go.
For emphasis.
And a comb and a brush and a bowl full of mush. Not sure what that is. And a quiet old lady who is whispering, hush.
Hey, there she is now. She's
sewing.
Gone. She was just there in
Oh.
the chair. Remember now? So this is after? Like, can she time travel?
Well, is this a rabbit? I don't know what this animal is. And I'm not.
She's like
Old lady
It's like a goat rabbit.
Yeah. Maybe when she disappeared, maybe they used the digital conveyor and they transported her off planet. And then when she came back, she picked up like other animal
Right.
body parts.
Or
Maybe there's some
Yeah.
leftover cellular activity from.
Or maybe like the first time that they tried it, or that maybe it turned into mush. Like the transport didn't work, and that's what that bowl
Oh,
of
yeah,
mush
the
is.
first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who did that. Maybe that's
Well, here's the problem. You have a bowl of mush, that's just sitting there. So again, okay, so this rabbit, maybe neglectful rabbit, goes back to knitting, leaves the bowl of mush next to a comb, which isn't
Not smart.
That's not smart.
Not-
That's
not
not
good.
hygiene. I'm not going to eat that.
No.
You don't want
What's the
mush
point
on
of
your
hairnets,
comb.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
what?
What's the point of hairnets? Like that's
Really?
why they
Come
were
on, let's get with it.
hairnets to keep the hair out, and now you're putting it right next to the food. It's
Well, I
not a good
suppose she's kind of made of hair anyway, so she's just used to hair
you'd have
falling
to
in her
net
bush.
your whole body
You would.
at that point.
They wear full body hairnets.
She's
when
making
they
a
work,
net. That's what you're saying. She's making a hairnet right now.
She's
Isn't she-
probably, yeah.
She's knitting one.
And Emily brings a good point. She says it sounds like prison, and this is probably what this is.
Again the black and white. Didn't you ask about the black and white? This is
Prison's
prison
always
for her.
black and white. Every color. Yeah, I should know.
Boy, that
she's
rabbit's
a-
got big eyes
Yeah,
and big nose and big teeth.
I think she's a rabbit.
Well, Arms of the Father thinks it's a big bad wolf in disguise, so
Mhm.
I could be right.
Never thought about that. Yeah.
All right, why don't we get our next picture?
Where?
And all it says is "good night room," and there's a lot going on in this
It's a
room.
lot.
I don't even know how
It's
you're
like
gonna
the finale.
get. No lights are off.
The cats got into the yarn clearly.
Yeah, the cats aren't going to sleep anytime. And now the sky, something happened out there, and the sky is like part blue.
No, Jay, that's the light. See the light? It's shining on the sky, and it's super powerful. It's like one of those LEDs, and it makes this.
So it's lighting up outer space. It's that powerful.
Strong.
I think
that-
it's just lighting up the glass.
Why do you even say goodnight? You're going to have a light. Like, how many lumens is that?
Wow.
That must be billions of lumens.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to get to sleep. That rabbit ain't going to get to sleep.
And look at the Norman Rockwell photo on the the black and white Norman again for emphasis, for sadness, dismal future. I mean, look at the trees broken in that. And is they fishing in there? I can't even tell. I think it's a pole. I don't
This
know.
is, I think this is worth reading from Jake because he has a pretty good point about the quiet. The quiet old lady appears to be having flashbacks to the war.
Yeah.
So that
Which war?
The one she was in.
Oh, I see.
well, obviously there are tigers involved, and she might be the victor. But she's having flashbacks to the war. She was a field medic. Be careful not to scare her.
Who was I feel about it? The bunny?
I guess the
rabbit bunny?
Yeah.
The rabbit.
Yeah,
rabbit?
so-
Or
Does that mean that tiger was one of the enemies, and she brought the tiger home?
Or she stopped in a store or Goodwill or something.
Well,
Got it.
This book is a lot darker than I remember.
That's it.
Jake, I would say not only be careful not to scare her, but lock those windows. I mean, she has a flash. She's going to go right out that window. I mean, you can't, maybe that's why it has bars. Well, it is prison.
Maybe
it's a
it
prison
is.
window.
It's a reflection on her somberness. It is a dark book. You know, it's sadness, it's death of a tree, it's yarn, the feeling of kitties, like, you know, jumbled up, the tightness that you feel when you
So are we locking her in? Is that what you're suggesting?
I think she's locked out, Tony.
And I see Mary says here, is this all taking place in space? And that brings up a good point. We don't see any land here.
Great point.
You know,
Lots
maybe
of stars, yeah.
this bunny medic is living in exile.
Well, look
in
where
space, you know?
where the moon is too.
Okay,
right?
so we
I
are
mean,
close
that's
to the
not
Earth. Good point.
spot.
We are close to the Earth because we do see the moon. That's true.
Yeah. Or it's just a big star.
All right, let's keep going. We're getting more clues.
Darkness,
back to bottom
sadness.
right.
Right. Again, that cow's falling
It is the
again.
moon.
It says "Good night, moon. Good night, cow." Jumping over the moon.
Wait, okay? So the moon was full in the first shot, and then the second shot, it's like partial. It looks like someone took a bite out of the moon there. I don't know exactly what's going on there, but what's the deal there, Jay?
So the
Tony.
cow's still falling.
Well, I think they just took another shot of him. They just dropped him out.
Dropped him
for this
again.
shot. It's a different shot. What do you think?
Different moon, by the looks
I
of it.
mean, it could be emphasizing the space point made earlier, you know, that multi-moon system.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe this isn't taking place on Earth, but
Oh, that would explain it. Yeah, he's
Multiple
floating
moons.
around in the outer space. Yeah,
All right. Sorry,
that would be safer than dropping him.
Would be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm going to go down to this picture because Arms of the Father makes a good point. He says the carpet does not match the walls. In fact, he's kind of disgusted by it. It does match the bedpost, but again, is that on accident? I mean, is this? I don't want to get gross, but is this some blood thing going on here? I mean, I don't know if maybe that carpet is supposed to be green.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Jake is saying, is this book taking place in the Marvel universe? Is it canon? I think it is a multiverse, actually. If you notice, the bunny is backwards now. I don't know. He's facing the wall.
Spun around, yeah.
He's spun around. I think. I don't know
He's looking at
what that
something
makes,
there.
how that makes it a multiverse.
So is this like a different timeline that this?
It's actually the same
episode is?
timeline and
Yeah.
different in the same time. I think the most recent version of Loki kind of talked about this, the past and the present, and they're both affecting each other simultaneously.
I just
That makes
really, just in the future, I'd just like tell the author, please get the brushes and the hair comb away from the mush because it's still there.
It's a little further away,
That's,
Jake. The
that's
shot-
not sanitary. That's not what you should be doing. You never, if anyone knows anything, if you ever teach your kids, the first thing you teach them is don't put hairbrushes next to mush. I mean, you just don't do that. So.
Well, why aren't they saying, Jay? Why aren't they saying Goodnight Bunny? I mean, they're pointing out the things in the pictures. Goodnight Light and red balloon. Actually, that's not in the picture. Goodnight Bears and Chairs. This bunny it clearly is dejected. Again, darkness. I bet you that. I bet you.
So is this
next shot
bunny
is black
saying
and
that,
white.
or is this bunny of any? This bunny can't hold a balloon. Like I don't even know if the bunny's capable of uttering those words. I mean, it's pretty complex sentences
I'm not
for the
exactly
bunny.
sure.
And Mike, you know how you were talking about this is a multiverse. Emily brings up a good point here. In this instance, the paintings are in color. You
Right.
know, we might be on a
right.
different timeline, different universe where the paint.
The black and white
Yeah,
universe
exactly.
versus the color
Right.
one.
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
See, black and white right after.
3D
Got the
one
picture.
versus a
Right, there you
2D
go.
one. Yeah.
Goodnight Kittens.
Good
Pretty,
night.
pretty sure we're in space though,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm trying to figure out how the balloon is actually going up.
Well, actually,
Okay.
yeah. Good
So
point.
wait, if it's
If you're on
in
a
space,
ship,
then hold on. Obviously, this is a space station, but
the-
there is a prison in the space station. People don't realize that. So they do lock up animals.
Yeah.
The
It
animals
would
that
need
aren't
to be,
working
yeah.
out,
Right.
They have to lock them up. So
Well, Jay, actually, these are like bubble jails. So actually, this is not a picture, a snapshot. This is actually that's a ball, a circle that holds the kittens.
Oh.
It's like a holding area. Same thing with the mittens. It's the holding area. It's not like you may think like, oh, this is like a peeking in a little, little,
but you're not.
looking, little peek. But it's not. It's
but
actually
they're actually
holding
trapped
area.
in
They're trapped.
in prison.
Oh, okay. So they're using like magnetic lasers to
Something like that.
create a boundary.
I'm not
and
sure the
then-
technology, but you're right. You're
Yeah.
on track there.
Yeah, Mary out there, she has some issues with the cow. I mean, she's like, how is it possibly jumping over the moon? She actually used all caps for over.
We mentioned that it's falling. We actually dropped the cow out of a plane.
Yeah.
and
Could be
it's
floating
a-
because it's in space too.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
She continues, what business does it have to do with the moon? Why do we even care about the cow? Mary, if there's, I just recommend talk to someone.
Is it a milk cow or a meat cow?
Maybe get books about cows. I mean, if you had an issue with a cow, I know.
Get an audio book about cows.
I mean, the cow's making a living. It's the same thing we're all doing right here.
Yeah, cows are people too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Good night clocks. Good night sex. So now we're beyond the living. We're like saying good night to the animate. Inanimate. Sorry.
Inanimate.
Inanimated.
Is he? What's going on with the bunny? I wish we could zoom in, Jay. Come on. What's going? Is he? Is his legs? Is the arms around his legs? Is he cold?
We'll just show
Was
up.
was this bunny in the war too?
Okay.
Is that something you have to worry about here?
Must have been the
He's
war.
too
Well,
young
the
for that.
cat. Number one,
The
the
cat's dead.
The cat looks dead.
Pretty sure he's dead.
That's too bad.
And I think that the knitter
lady.
rabbit bunny is laughing there.
I said, the rabbit is in the fetal position, so something happened. Something came into that room. Something killed the cat. The bunny is very afraid that it could be next.
They turn
don't
up the
see
fire.
I'm
So
wondering. I don't see the balloon. Do you think it popped and maybe had
Well,
noxious
maybe
gas in it or
those
something?
arrows up top, the left and right arrow. Do you see that next to the drapery? There's a
Yeah.
red left arrow and red right arrow.
Yeah.
I think that's pointing to the exit of the spaceship.
Oh.
Actually,
That's
Okay.
emergency
All right,
exit,
sure.
probably. Yeah.
it's proper.
Emergency
Yeah.
hatch.
All right.
But yeah, back to Jay. You're really true. That's true. That is sad. I mean, clearly the bunny is like alone. I bet you there'll be black and white. I bet you there'll be a black and white image the next shot.
All right.
But yes.
Yeah, there
See?
you go.
So that's it. Loneliness. It's not saying goodnight, mouse. It's like you're dead next, mouse.
Yeah.
This is sad. How can I read this to kids?
I was just about to ask that.
If the
horrible.
mouse is encapsulated and imprisoned in that little
It
circle,
is.
it's about to die.
It is.
Only air. Tony, how much air does
It's
that
getting
mouse have?
smaller too, so less and less. Yeah.
It's true. And the house. I mean, that's also on a flat Earth type thing.
Yeah.
I believe
Not
that's
to
the
get
space
religious
station.
here, but
Actually,
Yeah. Oh.
they wanted to model it after what
Right,
people
right.
are used to, the kids are used to. Because they can't show them like this.
What are the kids used to?
What do you see in the picture of the house, the mouse? you
Yeah.
know? Oh, but they're used to that, and they don't want to take the kids out of this universe.
No.
But we're getting to the bottom of it,
Multiverse.
obviously.
Okay, we're getting near the end of here, and it says good night comb, good night brush. Again,
But it's closer now. The comb is a little closer to the mush. By now the hair is jumping across. It's jumping into that mush.
I think the
that-
mush is moving.
I
think it's a moving mush pile.
And is it getting
Huh.
brighter outside? Is it slowly
Again, it's the
turning?
lights, Nick. It's the light, the LED light that's super powerful.
Is it getting
Yeah.
brighter though? Is because it's looking blue out there now. It's
I
looking
think
almost
it's a-
morning. Like they've been saying goodnight for so long.
Yeah.
It's almost morning.
That's true.
Now we're trying to teach kids to stay up
Right.
all night too. Like,
And the bunny looks like he's ready to punch somebody. He's like doing a Rocky
Yeah.
thing there, like a Daniel-son type of Rocky thing. He's like, "If you come again, I will get you."
well, it has to,
will
Mike. I mean,
get you.
the cat is dead. There's a fire going. The mush has lots of hair in it. I mean, it's either fight or flight, and this bunny, thankfully, I think is ready to fight. So we'll
What's the dollar bill lower right corner by the phone? What's the deal? What's that lower
true.
right
Yeah.
green thing? What is that?
$1
Money, a
bill.
payoff? What is
Fold it
that?
in half. Pretty sure.
See it, Jay?
I think
Is he
you're right.
doing the dollar bill trick where you fold it in half and then you unfold it and it's upside down?
I think he didn't finish. He was going to make one of those football things to kick over the goalpost.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mentioned Jake said maybe what we're seeing in the house is a result of a natural gas leak from the fireplace, which makes sense. You got the rabid rabbit, you got the dead cat, you got the bunny that's starting to punch the air.
the colors are changing. That'll happen
Yeah.
with natural gas.
Not sure if they run spaceships on natural gas though, but maybe.
All right. So, okay, Buffalo Life says the cats aren't declawed. That 100% explains the mittens.
No, right.
Oh, right.
So,
Sure.
yeah,
Protection.
you have to handle that.
Yeah, good
properly.
idea.
Okay, let's see. I don't know if there's any more.
Oh, yeah, black and
Good
white.
night, nobody.
So, good night, nobody.
So
Not sure.
nobody, like Jay, like there was somebody and now nobody's
Well, that's
there.
the cat. The cat was supposed to be good night cat, but the cat's dead.
Well, and then
So
the,
what else is the
So
what
they had
else
a
is the narrator going
substitute
to
to
do?
protect the.
and you got
Yeah.
the genetic substance that was left after the malfunction of the transportation device that transported someone
No,
didn't
so
work
that's
out.
not real mush. That's not like cream of
No,
wheat.
it's genetic
No.
material.
Okay.
The-
I've also heard that
came out of the replicator.
That
So it's
maybe
artificial.
that the Goodnight Nobody section here is I've heard an interpretation of it that it's actually as my eyes are being opened to the terrible things that this book is teaching children, that it's trying to get kids a little disrespectful. Goodnight Nobody.
It's working. It's working.
Yeah, they don't want the kids to say goodnight to anybody.
No.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a catch-all for like everybody.
Why don't you say goodnight everybody? Why goodnight nobody? I mean, I think it's the darkness, the war, Jay.
Yeah.
The rabbit war.
It's true. I mean, when you have bombs going off all over and you're cuddled in the I mean, you're gonna say goodnight nobody because you don't care anymore. All right, so the last scene I think here is goodnight to the old lady whispering hush. I don't see her whispering anything. She's kind of in the darker side of the room. Not
what's going on. The
She's
cats
saying-
are alive. Clearly, they've come back to life.
one of them did, yeah.
I think it was supposed to be goodnight mush. I think she was trying to say goodnight to the mush.
It came out like a hush.
Came out hush, yeah.
Right.
Okay,
There's
again,
something
Tony.
black around the bunny's
And-
face there in the bed.
Is
Yeah.
the mouse getting at the mush over there too? You see that? The mouse
It
is
is.
starting to eat
Yes,
too.
where
This is
it's-
just
yeah.
Where is it?
unacceptable
I see.
levels
Yes.
of unsanitary.
That
I
is
mean,
gross.
the atrocities of this book
Genetic
are
material.
numerous, but that's got to be one of the worst ones right there.
Okay, now what is this? Just the writer block here? Goodnight stars, goodnight air. I mean, am I just running out of things they're gonna
No,
do?
because they get paid by the page, so she's
Oh.
just like, I might as well just throw a few extra things in there, and then
It's in space though, so why are we saying goodnight air?
Well, there's
Yeah.
air in the room.
In the room.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice. Whatever.
well, maybe not for long because I mean, if it's a natural gas leak,
Between
you
the
can't
fire
have-
and the pop
it's-
below.
Yeah,
do they have propane in space, or they just have it?
you're not supposed to have fire in space. I mean, it's everyone knows that the space station, right, Tony? They have training. Like, please don't put it in.
There's
Don't. We have,
rules, there's regulations, there's policies.
even though we have a fireplace, don't put wood in it and,
Yeah.
and light it
General
up.
operating procedures and guidelines.
Hologram.
Yeah. All right. Good night noises everywhere. Nothing's really making noise. I think the rabbit's dead though. Look at that.
Mhm.
That's
The cat's like dead again.
And you know
they re-deadified.
They don't hear you in space either, so the noises everywhere are really just inside the room. So that's all that rabbit's experiencing. That room
I see.
every day. And where'd the lady go? Where's the lady?
Well, Mary says, "Why is there an old lady? What is the relationship? Why are we not more concerned about this
Maybe it's a
relationship
hallucination.
between who and whom? Who and whom?
She's got a good point. Look at everyone in that room is dead, but that lady's out of it. Who?
Where
Then,
is she?
right, Tony? I mean, someone had to
I don't
turn
see
on the
her.
natural gas,
Escape pod?
right? So I think she turned on the gas. She left the room. She's probably leaving the station. She knows she needs to get out of there. All right.
Yeah.
And
There you
that's
go, everyone's favorite,
if you want
everyone's favorite bedtime book. Yeah.
if you want more books by this woman, I don't know why, but you can order them. So,
Yeah.
My childhood's been ruined.
so
We have this book upstairs in my kids' room.
Are you gonna change that?
I don't know. I mean, it's
Hey.
pretty.
this still isn't working.
Lot of
If it,
Um,
if
yeah.
it gets the kids to go to sleep.
No,
Yeah,
Mike,
true.
I'll put one
It's
on.
fine, Jay.
Okay, you
Don't
ready?
go to sleep.
You gonna do
or
it?
this will happen
Yeah,
to
we
you.
do.
Okay.
All right, if you just joined us watching Issuenight, next set of issues.
I thought it wasn't working.
No, it's still not working.
I thought we can just go to cut the black, cut it full. See if it works. Can you cut full?
all right,
Go to
you can do
cut. I'll do it. Ready?
Yeah, do
No, it's
No,
totally correct.
I'll get out of it. and
Did you
get
save
back
it?
into Yeah, we
You
can
saved it,
so,
save it. Get out of here.
So,
How much money?
so our next
no,
set of
no.
issues
Shoot, Mike.
actually are
Just say it.
it's a legislative update. Last time we spoke of automotive issues and the lights that come on, which they call the idiot lights, but they're kind of reminders like, hey, you should have done this or should have taken your shoe
Fix
out
the
of
oil.
the dryer. Or you're
Get
warming
abs.
the earth by what you're doing.
Measure the temperature of the ocean.
So, Tom, what are we talking about now? What do we?
Yeah, so, one set of legislation creates, another set of legislation tries to
Destroy
fix. Yeah, and so California passed a legislation that basically says no more idiot lights. So from now on, they only want positive reinforcement. They're saying that our feelings are being hurt
Yeah.
by these lights. that are telling us that something's wrong with our car or wrong with our driving.
Right.
And so we can only do positive things now.
Uh-oh, hold on a second.
Oh, did I do that?
It's fine.
All
No,
right.
it's fine,
Okay.
Jay.
All
I
right.
have to turn off everything here until you get working there. I got to turn off all these.
Turn it all off.
See, I cut
We're
the
still
J and it was
here.
the black, and I got to cut the NDI
We're still
out.
here, though, right?
We're still here.
Okay, so people were getting out of their cars and they're like, that was pretty cruel. I don't even feel like driving anymore.
Oh, look at that work.
And so I think that's what you're right, Tony. People just feelings were hurt. California, of course, right on top of that, saying we need legislation to help that out, right?
I didn't hear anything he said. Did you hear anything Jay said? I totally.
Something about positive reinforcement, new legislation.
Oh yes.
I guess we have to just say nice things in our cars now, and I'm wondering what we might be able to come up with to help these car companies. support car companies.
You can do it like you can do it like yeah, or like a thumbs up, like a like YouTube, Jay. Thumbs up.
That's what I got. So I almost hit like a deer and then swerved on the other lane of the road on oncoming traffic. I'd avoid that, and then I got back into my lane, and I had a thumbs up.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Now it's pretty. Go ahead.
No, I've heard that I've heard about this legislation as well, and some of the car companies are trying to fight back. They really don't want to encourage poor driving skills. So I heard that some of them are trying to be a little sarcastic with it. Some will be like, "I really like how you almost rear-ended that car," or
how can you do like an icon just for that? I really like how you almost rear-ended.
I'm talking
the car.
more about the luxury models. They kind of speak it at you.
Oh,
I
see.
Especially for the blind drivers.
Oh,
they
I
can't
see.
it.
The blind drivers, you got to watch those guys. Yeah.
So it's they're being positive, but they're really not. They're being sarcastic.
Exactly.
Isn't
That's
that
how
how
they
it
get
starts?
around
That's
it.
how it
Yeah.
starts. Sarcasm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You don't think that they're gonna see right through that?
Well, the law only said that it has to be positive reinforcement. So if you start it with it's really great that, or I like how that covers it. Every law has a loophole, so that's what they're really focusing on. The automakers really saw right through it. So.
What are some of the other positive things we can tell a driver? You look good today.
Oh, that's a good one. I was thinking more automotive, like good job, you stayed on the road.
Yeah.
This time.
Or put your blinker on when you turn. Would the blinker come on to tell you that? Would you have a dummy light blinker next to the regular blinker? It's like you're coming up on the turn. Put your blinker on. I don't know.
Emily says, or using what signals for law?
Like abiding citizen, like a law-abiding citizen. Use citizen. I can't talk. Can you talk for me?
She said, "I would appreciate some positive reinforcement of looking cool while driving with one hand."
Oh, I see.
So I think it detects
I
if
see.
you're using two hands or one hand.
Cool detector.
And I actually heard there's some development with this one too. This is outside of the law, but I think it applies. If they detect one hand on the wheel, they start playing some cool background music.
Oh.
And I heard the sunglasses little thing up top opens up because it can detect, you're in your cool mode.
Cool mode, right?
Mode, yeah. Sport mode. Now they have a cool mode as well.
So looking good, cool mode.
Technology's really passed me by.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Or maybe you should go to the potty. Or maybe you should. Jay.
Well, I'm seeing in my car positive reinforcement for being able to turn the car on. It's kind of like, hey, there's
you got started,
clapping.
yay.
There's
I
little
see.
hearts that pop up on the dashboard, little smiley face.
Mine has fireworks. Yeah.
There's emojis, and
Yeah.
that always gives me a nice warm cream of wheat
Like the
Kind of
like the
feel
bowl
to
full
it.
of mush.
Yeah, that's
inside.
yeah. No, I like that. The hearts, the emojis. That's popular now, right? So we could repurpose
Okay.
some of those and start using them in our cars.
Yeah, and if you don't have a device, and they'll send you stickers in the mail, so you'll get smiley happy emoji stickers.
And
in
at the
mail,
dealership, I hear that they're doing a gold star system as well. Like in school, they do gold stars if you're doing
Right.
well, and they're keeping track of that.
Yeah.
Every car they sell, they add it to the list.
They're training kids to stick stickers on people's faces when if you're happy with somebody, you just stick it on their face like that.
Yeah.
And then just that's I don't know. That's what I'm doing. It's low tech, but it's working. But anyways, the cars They're trying to be positive. They're trying to, make people feel good about themselves. You're special. You're pretty. You did a great job on your, combing your hair today.
You made it to school. Congratulations. Here's a trophy.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're running low on trophies though, Tone.
Yeah.
Everyone's getting them kind of for everything.
They've moved to
and,
plaques. I've heard certificates. Sometimes.
Yeah, or there's stickers of trophies,
Right.
and
They
people
scratch
are okay with that. If they're scratch, as long as they're scratch and sniff, I think people are going to be okay.
I think
with
that's
that,
the bottom
so.
line. I'd be happy with a sticker if it was scratch and sniff.
Why isn't there a taste and sniff?
Why
Why is it scratch and sniff?
Kind of a lick and sniff.
Lick and sniff. Why not lick and sniff? Smell and itch.
Oh, it's gone.
Lick and taste. I think they have those. They're called suckers, but
Right.
lick and sniff. That's a good idea.
I heard that there's a scratch in here
Feel
coming
and
out.
what?
Scratch in here. You scratch
Scratch
on
in
it.
here.
You play a song.
Oh,
Yeah, that would work.
Jay, what are you doing? You're losing it.
Sorry,
You're losing
I
us.
am. All right, I want to get to our next set of issues.
Okay, what's
so
wrong?
I'm,
Good. You
got
figured it
ready
out.
to
Good.
go. Next set of issues we like to call tree issues, and is that a picture? We sort of have a
I
picture.
don't know if that's where you got capture. Can capture
for that
going?
tone.
No.
So what are we talking about
There you
with
go.
our tree issues this time around?
So new resources, kind of like for our other pets and members of the family. Raising trees. They've got some obedience schools now, and the idea is to teach the tree what it needs to know. So you want the tree to line up in a row. You see this sometimes like along roadways where they're all lined up. They're practicing stand up straight. And then sometimes you'll see roll over, the ones that are on the ground rolling, of course.
On the left there.
So that's good practice to teach your trees to do that, because the end result is you want to raise your trees right. You don't want them hanging around with dangerous friends and that type of thing.
I don't mean to be demeaning. Well, how do you teach a tree? Like I don't see the trees really moving a lot. I mean, they sway, but I don't really see them.
Some people say they don't listen.
Okay.
I don't know who those people
What
are.
I'm saying is like, what's your end game here? What's the deal here?
Well, you want them to grow up right. Eventually they're going to have to find a profession and find a purpose in life. So, teaching them. I mean, you see a lot of trees that are really straight.
yes,
And they get it. They're going to make a telephone pole out of them someday, or some sort of job where that's important. And then you see other trees that are just all crookedy and
like this.
leany. And
Is it fair that the tree on the right that's greenery has three stalks?
Well, it went through. They've had some trade schools. I've heard for trees. Of course. A lot of
for
the
trees.
Exactly. A lot of them are going into Christmas trees specifically, especially the pines, and they're trying to expand that. This one clearly went to a climbing trade school, but I've heard that they're looking to really break into the industry, specifically Hanukkah, and I hear we're working on some Hanukkah trees.
Because they're already in Christmas, is what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Well,
that's probably the biggest career path that a lot of these trees are looking at right now.
Right.
Well, if we go back to the picture, a couple of those trees are crooked. And the reason why they're crooked isn't so much they look off, but they're crooked. They're involved in criminal activity.
I see what you're saying, Jay.
they weren't raised right.
Wow.
So, that's why they say a crooked tree. Like, you don't want your trees going crooked.
It's a
You know
crook.
what they do?
Crook.
The roots,
Crook.
suck up too much water. I got trees that roots are right in my well. I mean, they know they shouldn't be there, but they're doing it anyways, and they're
Jay,
crooked.
what kind of crime could a tree commit?
stealing water, Mike? I mean, we're getting water. We don't even have enough water. We have to.
Breaking an entry into.
I've seen a lot of crime scenes. There's wood around at crime scenes. A bat.
Tree falls on your house,
And
like
no one's here to see it. Whose tree is it?
That's not at all where I was going. So a tree falls on your house, and you're thinking, "Oh, the wind did that," and that's what the tree wants you to think. But like Tony said, it broke in and it entered. And
Trying to cover up for their crime.
There's been a lot of stick-ups. especially towards some branch managers, and they
branch
just,
managers.
and that's another profession that they've been working towards as well. But yeah, it's just been it's been a work in progress, I've heard, but they're working towards it, trying to get them off the out of the forest onto the street,
So some of the job descriptions that are out there, I mentioned telephone pole, you've got totem pole, you got log cabin, some of the important ones for being straight and tall, and those are the more desirable ones. I don't know, is a Christmas tree a desirable employment for
Well,
there's pension.
it's pretty prejudicial. I mean, they pretty much only take the green. What type of tree is it? Pine trees.
Willow.
Yeah, the pine
Willow
trees. They only
tree.
take the pine trees. Like nothing else really.
Seems like a dead end job. I mean, you got it nice for a few weeks, and then before you know it, you're done. You're out at the curb.
I do hear there's a good pension involved though, so it's a short-lived career.
Yeah.
But they're making sure you're kind of set for life.
Well, they set you up in a house, or as a house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean again, the pine trees you got to raise right. You get one that's crooked, it scratches the walls, it drops the needles. The needles go on the train track. The train doesn't go around the track.
And Thomas and friends aren't happy.
Yeah, and it's funny to the tree, but it's really not funny to everyone else. We're just sick of needles and trains that don't run right, and the Christmas presents get a little wet. How that happened, I don't know. Some of us are sick of that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and there's some real sappy stories out there from some of these trees. Like how they're struggling. Can't make it through these trade schools, but they're
Well, a lot of them are afraid to use saws and things that cut things. So I mean, that's what I found.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're going to get to a trade school, you have to learn to use saws and things like that. You can't be scared.
You
of
can't
those
be
things.
afraid of getting yourself cut.
Well said.
That's it.
Do we have time for one more issue?
Sure.
Or-
I mean,
okay.
Are you okay? You okay? You
Yeah.
keep looking at your watch. You got somewhere to go? What's going on? You got a date? What's
I
happening?
have to be honest. I'm just checking in on the subscriber count.
It's not good, is it?
It's
not
getting
good.
better.
It's getting better. It's getting better. Oh, good. Okay.
All right. Last set of issues we like to call, if they'll come up.
Easy pass.
Easy pass.
That was easy.
Easy.
So we have, some people have Easy Pass. I think we have a picture of this. It is, that's not it.
That's not it.
Oh, so we did have a bubble hockey issue.
Oh, no.
This is it. So it's stuck to your car, and
Please do not use this barcode on this Easy Pass. It's only for display purposes only.
yeah,
I think this is a prototype, so we don't have to worry about that.
Okay,
It
good.
won't work.
Good.
So you put this on your car. It enables you to just go right through tolls. You don't, in a lot of cases, you don't have to slow down, right, Mike?
Jay, this thing will let you go through a lot of things: red lights, green lights, yellow lights, just about anything. We're not suggesting that you do that.
Blockades.
So
Sometimes, if you get the premium
blockades.
subscription,
These aren't
yeah.
the droids you're looking for. You get right through them.
Wow.
No.
So
Bridges,
even
roads.
like a naval blockade.
Naval blockades.
I have Easy Pass.
UN pass. UN checkpoint.
Wow.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's what the Chinese are using.
But we're getting
Yeah.
off topic here. Go ahead, Jay.
That's the problem is you get through way too easy. So they're trying to say, maybe these are too easy. So maybe we need a less easy pass.
Tony, what would that be called?
Less easy.
Yeah, just not as easy.
Pass. Not as easy pass.
An NAE pass.
NAE pass.
Not
NAEZ pass. NEAZ pass, Jay. Not
Okay,
as
NAZ.
easy. NAEZ. NAEZ pass.
And a.
So already it's working. That's harder to say.
It is. It's
Because
making it
Easy
harder.
Pass was
Yeah,
easy to
too
say,
easy.
but NAEAZ
Pass.
pass
And
is not
it's
as easy
not
to
as easy
say.
to
So
say.
It's like we were talking about before, just really trying to enrich the minds of the coming generation, Like a lot of my generation had things handed to us, just like,
When we weren't-
don't fix the oil on your car,
Right.
like Dad will take care of it, And so they're just trying to make it a little bit harder not
I think
as easy.
Yeah, people you get things. Your parents gave you things easily. You know,
Exactly.
gave you your cell phone, your computer, and probably paid for your college.
Just about, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, people.
Easy, wasn't it? Easy.
It was way too easy. You're right.
Yeah, so you know you don't pay as much, but it's a bit harder. So when you're going through a toll, you know there's a basket there for the coins. So you don't have to put in all the coins, but you got to put in at least a coin. You got to
Some of
make
them.
it
Okay.
as you go by, like 30 miles per hour.
do
You
that.
got to like time it right.
That's how it was with
Yeah.
us. When we remember we used to have the toll booths.
Yeah.
But actually, Jay, they're starting simpler. Instead of the easy pass like this, they're giving you a block of wood, and basically you try to go through with a block of wood. And what happens, Jay?
You nothing.
Nothing happens exactly that, and then it's like it didn't work. I mean, the game in this didn't work. So then you go.
You got to make a U-turn and
You make a
go
U-turn,
around.
try again,
Try again.
and then it
Slow
doesn't
down a
work
little
again.
more.
And then you I have to call somebody. There's no phone number on this. So you have to figure out who to call.
Well-
and then you call them, and they're like, I said I tried to go through with this, and they're like, what do you mean? What's your number? I don't have a number. It's like a block of wood. Well, why do you have a block of wood? Because that's what you sent me. And that's basically what happens.
Well,
and then
what I do
and they make it really hard.
Yeah,
Make
you
it
have
very
to
not
go
easy
through
pass.
50 steps and talk to 20 different people, but then finally you'll be able to get through. So stick
Well,
with it.
theoretically, what I've heard is that these blocks of wood are actually supposed to be a lot easier to read, and this circles back to the tree training that we were talking about earlier.
Right.
They're supposed to be trained to have the the loops inside to spell
Right.
out the numbers,
I
but
see.
they're still working on that technology.
They are easy
right
to
now.
read because there's no
There's
words
nothing to read,
whatsoever
yeah.
on it,
It's-
so that makes
it's
it
a
really
lot-
easy.
It's easy. It's green. A lot.
It's
easier,
green,
right?
But it's hard because it doesn't do anything. And
Exactly.
that's difficult.
Yeah. Some of them they make you like before you get to the toll, you got to do a loop, and then you go through backwards, and then you got to try to do another loop in traffic to get back going the right way.
But that was
So-
too hard, so now they are actually writing the phone number down onto the block of wood. So when you go through and it doesn't work, then you call them and say, oh, I see, you tried to go through. We see your license plate number. We're going to send you a ticket because it did not register. And you gave me the block of wood. It says the phone number on here.
And that
Yeah.
just goes to show, they're trying to find a balance. They're not just trying to make it difficult. It's not a hard pass. It's not not a hard
not
pass. It's
as
not as easy.
N-E-A-Z.
Well, they got to
pass.
work out.
I think
the-
there's a silent,
Silent
J
E.
or
Sound
Q in
J.
there or something.
Sound Q.
Yeah, they got to work out the kinks. I mean, you're right. There's a balance. It's like it's too easy, and then I got too difficult, and they got to find that happy medium where it's like they're working on the billing now. Like I got my bill, and it used to be okay. I got off at XYZ, and then drove all the way to Syracuse
Right.
type thing,
Yeah.
and it cost me $5.
Right.
Well, now it's this mile was 15 cents and this mile was 18 cents.
Yeah.
And then I got to add them all up to submit it for reimbursement.
Right.
So it takes a little bit more work, a little bit more effort, a little bit more time, but I have to use my mind and actually do math.
All
That's
while
hard.
driving too, which is not
Yeah.
as easy as
they Tony on mine they just put down exits that I didn't actually go into,
Oh.
and so I'll get my bill, and then they'll say, hey, you went through these, you got to pay for this, and really no, I never went through that. And I'm like, no, I have to argue with them. It's not as easy as it used to be.
Yeah.
Like, it just worked before.
Sometimes
Okay.
it's multiple choice. Which exit did you go through?
Right.
And then which one did you go around? And then which exit had the gopher by the side of the road?
Sometimes
you
it's a
gotta
Sudoku,
answer.
Jay. Sometimes they make you do a Sudoku to figure out your bill.
make sure you're paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually got a list of all the exits that I did not take in the prices, so I had to work backwards. It's like this is how much the whole throughway, and I didn't go through this one, that one. So I had to add those up and subtract it from the big amount to get my amount.
Not as easy. Pass.
Not
Again,
as
it's the
easy, yeah.
balance. You don't want to make it too hard, then it'd be a. What would it be, Jay?
Well,
That'd be a difficult
hard pass.
Yeah, it'd be the hard pass, and then some passes passes are treasure hunt. Like before you get off the thruway, you have to kind of like take detours and find clues, and then take more detours until you get a treasure, and then you turn that
Yeah,
in.
you find that little cachet thing, and then you take out something. You
And then there's the hidden pictures right nearby that you have to find that pictures.
Exactly, and those are the harder tiers. So, as part of this initiative, they're also adding more difficult passes. You spend less money, but they want to make sure that you really pay attention on the road. So hard pass might be coming, and then I hear there's a double black diamond pass on its way. There's maybe a slalom while driving or something.
Yeah, not many people do that, or people get them and then they're exhausted and they're full of anxiety, and they're just like, I need to return this double diamond pass because I just.
Some people like a challenge, so it's something for everybody.
Yeah.
I like it.
I think that about does it for the show. I'd like to thank everyone who participated in the chat. Don't forget the thumbs up on YouTube, and don't forget to join us. We don't have the graphic for another issue of
Come back next week then.